Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because, well, you want to get past the surface level, and that's what we aim for.
That's right.
Today, we're going to be digging into the lyrics of The Flood by Ben Caplan. We found it on YouTube. And our mission, really, is to explore the metaphors in there. What's it saying about, society?
It's a really interesting choice, that song. It uses the flood, this really visceral image, to talk about some deep anxieties, I think.
Okay, let's jump right in then. It kicks off with, I wake up to the tolling of the bell, and I feel the water swell.
Yeah, and then slowly rising. Hard to believe that it's not surprising.
Right. So it feels like this crisis is creeping up, but also maybe we saw it coming.
Exactly. That slow creep suggests, problems that have been simmering under the surface, maybe ignored for too long.
And the not surprising part, it hints that maybe collectively we kind of knew, even if we didn't want to face it.
Precisely. A sense of inevitability, perhaps.
Then you get these lines, I lost the foreground watching the horizon. That one really jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah. And followed by, the rising tide doesn't raise all boats. There's some of us you can't float.
It makes you think about focus, right? Like, are we looking at the wrong things?
Yeah.
And definitely about inequality.
That's a great point. It's like being distracted by maybe distant promises or just noise while the immediate issues get worse.
And that rising tide idea, it just shatters that notion that everyone benefits from change automatically.
It absolutely does. It points directly to those left behind, those who don't have the means to cope.
Okay, now this part gets really challenging, I think. Some are working in the mud. Not being innocent, don't make me guilty. You can't keep your hands clean when it's filthy.
Yes. That delves into some really murky territory. Complicity, morality.
How do you stay true to yourself when everything around you seems compromised?
Well, it acknowledges the struggle, doesn't it? Some people are right in the thick of it, working in the mud.
But it also suggests maybe it's impossible not to be painted in a filthy system?
That line, not being innocent, don't make me guilty, is key there, I think. It draws a distinction. You can be caught up in something bad without being the cause of it. Moral ambiguity. Then
the consequences become brutally clear. See the water dimmed with human blood? There's no justice drowning in the flood.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredibly stark imagery.
It links the overwhelming nature of the crisis directly to a failure of, well, fairness. Justice itself is overwhelmed.
It suggests a total breakdown. When the crisis hits that scale, the systems we rely on for justice just drown. They fail.
The mood shifts slightly then. I wake up as the light begins to bend, and I watch the night descend.
Feels like hope is fading.
Yeah, and then, after a dutiful lifetime of dreams, trickling riches and muffled screams. It's pretty bleak.
It really is. The fading light, the night coming down, it's symbolic of decline, maybe losing faith in old ideals.
That contrast between the lifetime of dreams and the reality of trickling riches, and especially muffled screams, it speaks volumes about disillusionment.
Unfulfilled promises, suffering that's ignored or silenced, it's potent.
And then, drawing perhaps from Yeats, the center can't hold. It gyres to the extremes.
Yes. A very direct, powerful reference.
Suggesting what total instability, things spinning out of control.
Exactly that. A collapse of the middle ground, of moderation, society polarizing, moving towards chaos or radical positions, that sense of things accelerating away from any kind of balance.
And you hear echoes of this today, that feeling of polarization.
Absolutely. It resonates.
And the song does circle back, reinforcing those points about inequality, who floats, who doesn't, and the difficulty of staying morally upright.
That repetition really hammers home the core message. Inequality, moral compromise, the potential loss of justice. These are the central anxieties the flood represents.
So listening closely, The Flood isn't just a song about water rising. It's a metaphor, a really powerful one.
Definitely. For all sorts of big societal problems, inequality, ethical struggles, the fear that justice might just disappear, that things might fall apart.
It packs a lot into that central image.
It certainly does. It uses the flood to make us confront these complex issues in a very direct, emotional way.
So, thinking about this deep dive, it leaves us, and you listening, with a question, I suppose. What flood seems most pressing in your world right now, whether it's personal or societal? And what clues does a song like this give us about trying to navigate it?
That's a good question to sit with. How do we respond when the water's rising? Something to think about.